Yo, what's up, guys? We are live, and I figured we could make a couple slips for today. Where do we want to start out? So we had some underdogs. This play just cashed. Cade was ruled out like last minute, so this went down to a 2-pick entry. And then we also cashed another underdog one. So we had a decent day on underdog yesterday. But unfortunately, not much else. Regardless, I have a strategy that I'm going to share with you for baseball. So let's take a look at MLB lines, and you can see the first play available is Joey Meneses under 1.5 bases. So we were actually on this on Betr a few days ago. But again, the way that PrizePicks works, sometimes they try to add in these payout shifts. So, for example, where's the Nationals game? Like, if you go to where is pitcher fantasy score? Or I don't even know if I can find it. So, if you go here, like, they add in payout shifts if you try to correlate a little too much. So, obviously, if Lane Thomas and Joey Meneses, if they're not getting on base, then, Martin Perez is more likely to go under 2.5 earned runs. But PrizePicks adds in this payout shift. So what you got to do is get a little clever and kind of avoid the payout shift. So we have this first play, Meneses under 1.5 total bases, right? You can see it lines up from a value perspective. All the books have his under heavily favored. So we know his under is the more likely outcome. Pinnacle has this all the way down at -137. So we're using, sportsbook odds as a source of information. And again, all the live stream plays are tracked in the description on YouTube. But anyways, let's go here to player bases, MLB, and let's try to build a correlated slip, and let's try to have some fun today. So we already have Meneses under 1.5 bases. I also saw the Lane Thomas play earlier. And if you kind of take a look at the lines, you'll see here it's kind of similar thing. All the books have his under heavily favored. So obviously if Lane Thomas isn't getting on base, if he's not hitting well, if the Nationals aren't hitting well, they're both more likely to have less at-bats. Like, they're kind of both more likely to go both over or both under together. And then what we can do is we can switch over to hits plus runs plus RBIs. And again, like, when you're correlating, you just kind of want to avoid the payout shifts if possible. But I was looking at a slip before, so I'll kind of show you what I was looking at. So let's go over to hits plus runs plus RBIs, and let's kind of build this PrizePicks slip. So we have two correlated plays. But we're not going to stop there. What we have next is, Abrams we wouldn't want to take. So let's look at hits plus runs plus RBIs, and let's see who's available for the Nationals. And also, where can we avoid the payout shift? So CJ Abrams, you can see books have him favored to go over. So taking his under, that doesn't really pair well. But if you look at Vargas, you can see, again, not as strong, but the books have his under hits plus runs plus RBIs. Like, Fliff has his under at -140. So his under is a little bit favored. And again, all these plays pair well together. Like, if we just go not National School Librarian Day, that's not what I'm trying to look at. So if we just look at the National starting lineup for today, right, we got Vargas to go under. Books have his under slightly favored. It's not that great of a play unless you're, correlating it. But again, if Abrams and Thomas aren't getting on base, more likely Vargas is going to, have less opportunities to get hits, runs, RBIs. And then we can look at our final pick, Trey Lipscomb. So let's look at Trey. And once again, all the books have his under heavily favored. Sure, whatever. It's not like the books have his under at -170. He's not a huge favorite to go under. But again, there's no payout shift here. And that's what's nice, is we're not getting a payout shift. And all these hitters, right, we're basically hoping the Pirates starting pitcher. Who's the Pirates starting pitcher again today? So if we go to earned runs allowed, we're hoping Perez has a good game. If he has a good game, all of them are more likely to go under together. If Lane Thomas isn't getting on base, all these players are more likely to go under together. But now what we need to do is, again, we're not going to be able to pair in another correlated play, earned runs allowed. PrizePicks, for a 5-pick flex play, look at this fucking payout they try to give us. 4x. 4x if we include the pitcher for a 5-pick flex play. It makes absolutely no sense. So we need to avoid the payout shifts. But that's fine. That's easy. Because what we can do is we can just add in an NBA play or something like that. So let's see what we got here. And let's also pull up Fliff. Yo, come on, bro. And let's see what else we got. Women's college basketball. Let's avoid that. So we got 4 plays on PrizePicks, 4 correlated MLB plays. And now we kind of got 2 options. Keegan Murray points or James Harden assists. So let's take a look here. And let's see what we got. And then we can go over to Underdog Fantasy and hopefully find some underdog plays. So which one do you guys like better? We got Harden assists and then we got Keegan Murray points. So you can see Keegan Murray points if we just kind of like pull up a line movement chart. I'm not sure why my internet is so fucking slow, but let's load this up real quickly. You can see like the books have moved Keegan Murray to being a big favorite to go over 15.5 points. But it's the same thing with Harden assists, over 8.5 assists. I mean, I always try to make sure, obviously, the plays I give out on this live stream have good value. So we have Harden over 8.5 assists. They're playing the Nuggets, so should be a competitive game. Or we can go with Keegan Murray points. I don't know. We got 2 options. So you can see here, like Caesars has ripped him all the way up to a minus 148 favorite to go over. So maybe we take Keegan Murray points, we call it a day, and then we can move on to Underdog or some other book. So we have Keegan Murray over 15.5 points. He's gone over, actually, 4 out of the past 5 games. So maybe we roll with something like this. And again, like, it's pretty crazy because if you look at these other fantasy sites, like on PrizePicks, you got to be a little clever here to avoid the payout shifts because it's kind of random what they add in the payout shifts for. But you'll notice, like, on you can't even include players from the same team on, like, or maybe they do let you on Betr, but sometimes they end up, you can see they do restricted combination. So on Betr, some of these other apps, they don't even let you pair players, on the same team. So maybe we roll with something like this. Keegan Murray, Bucks have his over, pretty heavily favored. Caesars has his over more favored than the rest of the market, but still, it's a good pick to kind of pair, and we're completely avoiding the payout shift. So let's just lock this in. I have fucking horrible betting limits on PrizePicks. But anyways, let me just drop this link in the chat for whoever wants to tail. And this will be our first play. So we got an MLB kind of correlated slip. And let me drop the link in the chat. For anyone who wants to tail, any value on Dabble, why not use PrizePicks discount? Oh, I already used the PrizePicks discount yesterday, kind of in a correlated play. Unfortunately, it didn't hit, but I used the Gaethje discount yesterday. So where is it? Nope. I don't know. But I ended up using the Gaethje discount. So what do we want to do next? Or let me put the link in the chat. PrizePicks bumped. What did they end up bumping? Alex is literally blind. There's a discount on PrizePicks. Where's the discount? I don't see no discount. If you're talking about the MMA discount, I already used this. So I'm not blind. I just already used it. But they do have a discount right now on Justin Gaethje. Is there another discount available? It's a Murray discount on PrizePicks. Oh, fuck, man. So there's a Jamal Murray. Oh, fuck. So we're going to be able to run another PrizePicks slip. Yes, you are blind. NBA. Well, I'm not blind. I just didn't check NBA. Chill out. But anyways, we got to play. So should we run another PrizePicks slip? I mean, these MLB ones, they're a little complicated to build just because, again, PrizePicks, they're kind of random with when they add the payout shift. Like total bases and hits plus runs plus RBIs, they don't add the payout shift. But if you try to do, like, as an example, fantasy scores, then they add in the payout shift. So you got to be a little bit clever, with just kind of avoiding the payout shifts if you're going to correlate your MLB plays. But anyways, we got another discount on PrizePicks. So what do we want to do? Should we find another PrizePicks slip or should we move on to another book? So we got PrizePicks Lane Thomas. I just got to remember to add it to the tracking sheet. What do we want to do, man? So Betr has some discounts as well. If you just take a look, like, easiest money you'll make sports betting is just taking advantage of these promos. So if we just look at the MLB, they have a discount right now on Sorka. So this is for the Royals game. So if you take a look here, they're discounting a strikeout line from 2.5 to 3. And it may not seem like a big difference, 2.5 to 3.5 strikeouts, but there's a huge change in the odds, right? Like him going over 2.5 strikeouts, which is the same as 3+, right? Over 2.5 is the same as 3+ strikeouts, is a minus 330 favorite. So he's a huge favorite to go, over 2.5. So this is a good discount that we can go with on Betr, but we need to find some other plays to pair. And I didn't actually want to play these baseball picks, so let's get rid of these baseball picks. And let's try to find a slip on Betr quickly. And then we can either do Fliff, or if people want to, we can go back to PrizePicks and we can do this DeJounte Murray discount. But anyways, let me put in Betr quickly. And let's just take a look at Betr and kind of see what options we got. So Keegan Murray points, where is it? Keegan Murray, I mean, you can see like FanDuel has his points line at 16.5. Again, in our slip, we got over 15.5. So I was trying to find picks with value. So we got 4 correlated MLB plays. And then we got an NBA pick. But anyways, let's take a look at Betr. So the first play we got is Tim Hardaway under 10.5 points. So we want to find something to pair with this Sorka discount. And it's only a max of $20, so what do we have? This is the first game of the day. We have Tim Hardaway under 10.5 points. So let's take a look at this. Over 10.5 points. I apologize. Over 10.5 points. You can see it lines up from a value perspective. Like all these books have ripped him to being a pretty big favorite to go over. Like the market's always adjusting to, where are bets coming in, whatever, stuff like that. So you can see PrizePicks also has his line at 10.5. I don't know if some lineup news just came out, but you can see all the books have moved him to being a heavy favorite to go over. Maybe someone's not playing and he's expected to get more minutes, or I don't know. Maybe sharps are just hammering the over. Who knows? But let's see if we can build a slip. Because we could always just run with it for this discount, just in a 2-pick entry or something like that. Betr has some other promos as well. Like they have a risk-free dynamic play. They have a bunch of other promos, but some of them we used on the previous stream. So what do we want to do? Should we just run it as a 2-pick entry and go back to PrizePicks? So honestly, that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to waste a bunch of time. So I'm just going to run this as a 2-pick entry, which isn't like the best type of slip on Betr. But obviously, we just want to find something to pair with this promo. There's a lot of books that don't have much value, but they run good promos. And again, I'm not sure what it is with fucking streaming software that makes Betr so janky. So I got to disconnect my phone quickly. But anyways, this is what I'm going to lock in for the Betr promo. Max of $20, and then I got to reconnect my phone. So there we go. We got a 2-pick entry on Betr. Which you can see right there. So this is just a 3x payout, which honestly is a little misleading because we're not betting 20 to win 60. We're betting 20 to win 40 in profit, 60 including, your stake back. But anyways, let's go back here. Let's go to the NBA. And maybe should we do a PrizePicks slip again? Or should we try Underdog? We could try Underdog. Sometimes Underdog Fantasy, they bump things quickly, but hey, that's the book we were winning on yesterday. We had a 3-pick hit and then a 2-pick hit because Cade Cunningham is a bitch and didn't play. So, whoa. So there's actually a lot of value on Underdog right now. Fuck, man. I forgot, too. Like, we can do some college basketball player props. We only have a couple more days of college basketball, which is, kind of sad. But let's see what we got here. So the first play we have is Braden Smith over 6.5 assists. Braden Smith, right? So we got so let's take a look. And if you can't do college basketball, I mean, there's some other replacement picks as well. But anyways, let's try to get in an underdog play quickly, and then we'll go back to where are you, baby boy? Then we'll go back to PrizePicks because again, PrizePicks has the discount on Murray, DeJounte Murray points. So we'll take advantage of that in a second. But we got Braden Smith. Nope, I want to go to college basketball. Where are you, baby? So there we go. We want Smith over 6.5 assists. Fuck, they already bumped him up to 7. Dude, this book is insane. Underdog Fantasy, I swear on these streams, man, they have been bumping things quickly. Quick. So that play was just bumped. And then it's like, okay, do we want to double down on Hardaway points? So I don't know if any lineup news just came out in the Mavs game. Is Kyrie playing? It's like, the NBA is an interesting sport because you get a lot of line movements just based on like, how many minutes is a player expected to play. If someone's out and Hardaway's even if someone's out for the Hawks and Hardaway's a better matchup, Hardaway will play more minutes. He's more likely to go over 10.5 points. But anyways, let's see what we have here because it looks like there's some baseball plays too. Ivan Herrera, under 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. So we have Ivan Herrera, under 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. You can see all the books have this under heavily favored. Bovada actually has the under all the way at minus 170. So it's like, that's an option. That's an option. We also have some strikeout player props. So let's just take a look quickly. Let's see what's the best picks. So obviously I'm going to go with Hardaway points. Okay. They haven't bumped him yet. Dude, do we want to fade DJ Burns? Honestly, I'm all about it. Let's fade DJ Burns. Under 15.5 points. That's a high points line for the big guy. He also could get in foul trouble early, knowing fucking DJ Burns. So let's take a look what we have here. DJ Burns, I mean, you can see here, like, all the books. Even if you don't use FanDuel, it's a $10 billion company. They're taking tens of millions of dollars in bets. They're pretty good at setting lines. You can see all the books. FanDuel's more aggressive than, like, Caesars, but all these books have his under, heavily favored. And then, should we run a hockey pick? Kyle Palomari, over 0.5 point. Or is there any other options we want to go with? So we had this Weathers play, Ryan Weathers strikeouts. You can see PrizePicks has his strikeout line at 4.5. All these other books have his line at 4.5. We can get 5 on Underdog. So maybe we roll with this. Ryan Weathers under 5 strikeouts. So if you want to lock it in, this is what I'm going to lock in. Again, Underdog Fantasy sometimes moves things quick. If you can't do college basketball, you could put in Palomari and just run it as like a 4-pick entry with insurance. Or if I can run it as a 4-pick entry with insurance. If you can't play, college basketball, you can just play it as a 3-pick with no insurance. But anyways, this seems solid. So let's lock it in. And there we got our first play on Underdog. So 4-pick entry. You want to play 4 picks with insurance. I mean, I've said this before, but, it does kind of matter how many picks you go with in your entries on PrizePicks and stuff. Like, PrizePicks only gives you a 5x payout for 3-pick entries. If you look at Underdog, it's 100 to win 600. Like our slip yesterday, it's a 6x payout. So it does kind of matter, like, okay, how many picks are you going with in your entries? But anyways, let's go back to PrizePicks and let's try to find something for this Murray discount. And here's what we have on Underdog. So I just don't want to, I'll remember to add it in later. Underdog 4-pick. Okay. So Weathers under 5 strikeouts. All the other books have his line at 4.5. And again, it may not seem like a big difference, but like most games, if we just go to this Weathers guy, most games, like pitchers, they're not going to have 10 strikeouts. They're kind of going to fall between, like you can see the jump for him from 4+ to 5+ strikeouts is minus 310 to minus 125. So like these are like the difference, those extra half points of value, really important long term, going to help you make a lot of money. But anyways, we got the Betr play in, and then we have our Underdog 4-pick, but we need to find another play on PrizePicks. Do we really want to run college basketball? So we have the NIT semifinal tonight. Actually already gave out Indiana State, so we're already on Indiana State. How is that looking? So I'm not sure. Well, we can take a look here. Indiana State. So we bet them earlier. So this game, NIT finals, Indiana State versus Seton Hall. So we do have college basketball tonight. We also have it tomorrow because we got the women's games. But let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. So you can see we bet Indiana State. I think we got a minus 126. I'm not sure. Yeah, so we have, from the previous stream, we have Indiana State minus 126. So that's closing really good because all the books opened this around minus 160. So I think we got this on Tuesday after the Final Four. All the other books were opening Indiana State around -150. FanDuel was -126, so that looks incredible. It's closing incredible. But anyways, let's see what we got here. So the first play we have is Julian Larry over 4.5. So we want to take the Murray promo, and then we want to go to college basketball. And we got Larry over 4.5 assists. So let's see what we have. He had 8 assists last game. He's gone over, 3 out of the past 5 games. And it checks out from a value perspective. All the books have his over heavily favored. I mean, FanDuel's got him all the way up at -150. And a lot of people will be like, yo, don't you want to watch highlights of this guy to see if you think he's going to go over or under? It's like, you kind of got to respect the market. All these books are pretty smart. They're pretty good at setting lines. They're taking a lot of bets today. They have pretty sophisticated models, and they're all telling you, like, every sports book has Julian Larry as a big favorite to go over. But let's see about baseball. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll be able to get in some baseball plays. So we could just run, or we could skip over baseball. I mean, let's take a look. Hits plus runs plus RBIs. That's kind of what seems like, and it's actually a little weird because, let's go here. Again, like, you just have to avoid the payout shifts because PrizePicks will try to hit you with these payout shifts, and that's when you get fucked. So you can see they don't add a payout shift for hits plus runs plus RBIs. So again, like, the strategy would be take players on the same team to go over or under together. That is positively correlated. If Lane Thomas gets a hit, Joey Meneses is more likely to get a hit because it means the Nationals are probably putting up more runs, they're more getting on base, whatever. And it's stronger for hits plus runs plus RBIs. So we have 2 picks, but let's see what else we have. So we already had some plays for the Nationals game. So let's see if there's anything else that's interesting. Like, what about, the Cardinals game? What about the Cardinals game? So let's see if we can correlate anything here. So let's go to hits plus runs plus RBIs. This tool just kind of showing all the odds from all the books. It's called the Sportsbook screen, but let's see what we have here. And let's see what we have here. So what did we want to look at? We have Nolan Arenado and we have Paul Goldschmidt. Their lines are at 1.5. So if we look up Paulie G, in this case, the books have his over heavily favored. Not heavily favored, but like every sports book, you kind of look at the market, you get a sense, okay, BetMGM, multi-billion-dollar company, their model saying his over is heavily favored. Same thing with DraftKings. Like, you have all these different data points in the market to start out your slip on. So we have Arenado. Let's look at him next. He's favored to go under. So, like, we obviously wouldn't want to take one over, one under. So what we kind of want to do is find some plays that line up. So we have, what about Andrew Vaughn and Andrew? So we have 2 Andrews in the fucking White Sox game. So both are like small favorites to go under. So we could run like, kind of an under slip here. Lewis Robert, Martin Molicondo. So let's look up Lewis Robert. So he's favored. There's really not much juice. He's a slight favorite to go over. So anyways, whatever. These slips take a little longer to build just because you got to look through all these hitter lines and kind of figure out what pairs best. So honestly, let's just maybe not do that, and let's try to find some NBA picks. So one play we didn't take, I mean, we looked at it when we were building the previous slip, but is we have Harden over 8.5 assists. Against the Nuggets, he had 8 assists last game. People like that. I mean, we could just run the Nationals players again, but that's kind of fucking lame. Although, that probably is the best value available on PrizePicks right now. Does seem to be, those Nationals players, like pairing Lane Thomas and some of those together, but maybe we take Harden, okay. 8.5 is a high assist line, but whatever, I'll trust the data here. The entire market has his over heavily favored. Again, I follow a very data-driven approach. I don't really just bet random shit because that's not how you make money. So let's see what else we got on PrizePicks. because we need some other plays to pair. So we got Julian Larry, we got James Harden, 8.5 assists, 4.5 assists. We got DeJounte Murray. That's what the discount's on. And then it's like, okay, what else do we want to go with, man? You can see there's some like crazy line discrepancies, but the issue is you don't have a ton of data points for a lot of these players. So like if you look at League of Legends, I'll give you a simple example. No problem. You want an example? I'll give you a simple example. Like, what are they doing? Kaori, PrizePicks opens his line at 14, Hot Streak's at 19.5. So some of the discrepancies you get in esports are like, it's insane. So what you could do is you could bet his under 19.5 on Hot Streak. If you use Sports Quack over 13.5, include that in a slip. I mean, that's crazy. Like you're creating your own, you're just middling the Taco Tuesday. Right? You take this over, this under. If he has 14 to 19 kills, you're going to win both bets. But what kind of sucks is you don't have a ton of books posting esports lines. So it's not really clear, like, okay, what book is kind of screwing up here? So let's kind of skip that over. So let's skip that over and let's see what we have here. Let's find a couple more plays to pair. Or honestly, what we could do is we could just run that Lane Thomas. We could run these again. Fuck, man. Fading the Nationals. I'm from Virginia. That's my team. That's my team. Doesn't feel right to fade them, but if we have to do it, we have to do it. There's also De'Aaron Fox under 37.5 PRAs. People like fading Fox tonight. Also, are there any other books with promos right now? So Fox, I mean, you can see FanDuel. All the other books have his line at 36.5. And PrizePicks is hanging 37.5. So honestly, maybe we go with Fox. Fuck it, sure, whatever. So let's skip over baseball in this slip. Let's take Fox under 37.5 PRAs. Perfect. And then we just need one final pick. So whatever. I'm going to avoid baseball in this slip. So we got Fox under 37.5 PRAs. I like that for tonight. And then Fred VanVleet fantasy score. It's like, what do we want to go with, man? We need one final pick. So obviously it doesn't make sense to fade Sabonis if we're fading Fox. So what do we want to go with? What do we want to go with? Seth Lugo. I mean, it's always the final pick that is stressful. What about Fred VanVleet under 38.5 fantasy score? So let's take a look at this. Obviously fantasy score, it's kind of like an index of a bunch of different things for a player. Turnovers, steals, like everything is encompassed into fantasy score. And they already bumped Fox, of course, these fucking assholes. So what I will do now, at this point, is let's run these. I'm just going to run these again, and I'm going to make it even more aggressive. So we have Vargas and Lipscomb, and we'll just correlate. Vargas and Lipscomb was what we wanted. And then what we can do is fuck the Harden play. I'd rather just correlate into a 6-pick flex play. So we'll just run them in a 6-pick. 4 MLB plays that obviously pair really well together. All unders are favored. They're all on the same team. Then we got a college basketball play. Whatever. I didn't feel like riding Harden tonight. And then we paired in DeJounte. So this is going to be our 6 flex on PrizePicks. Let me put the link in the chat for whoever wants to tail. So PrizePicks, they already started to add these payout shifts for... Here's the play. Don't take James assists. Okay, Kawhi's out. So nobody likes James Harden assists anyways, so I guess that kind of works out. Here's the link. Few discounted lines on Chalkboard. So someone's saying in the chat to look at Chalkboard. Let's see what they have. Is my phone connected? Yeah, my phone's connected. Okay, perfect. So again, if you're just tuning in, Betr has a discount on Sorka. So this is what I hit. And what we want to do now is let's take a look at Chalkboard. So, I mean, seriously, like, just playing these promos, you can make some good money. So, unfortunately, well, do you guys like Chalkboard? Should we do a Chalkboard slip? But again, like, Chalkboard is kind of like Sleeper. On Sleeper, I almost never find value. I think it's like anyone who says they're making money on Sleeper just has so much juice in their lines. But if you take a look, like Sleeper, all I bet is the promos. I just remember to bet it every, whenever they have a promo, because they run discounts a couple times a week, already up $500, which isn't bad for $10 max bet size promos. Like, you don't need a huge bankroll, and literally the only thing I bet on Sleeper is promos, because there's not much value. And the reason there's not much value is they just have so much fucking juice in their lines. Like, where is Sleeper? So, like, if you look here, I mean, at, like, any player, so if we go to, like, player rebounds or something, it's insane, like, how much juice they charge. So you can see here, minus 141, minus 119, 60-cent spread for Davian Mitchell rebounds. Tipico is minus 120, better odds than Sleeper. The under is also better odds than Sleeper, minus 110. Like, Sleeper offers the worst prices in general, so I don't really use it aside from promos. But anyways, let's see what they have here on Chalkboard. So they have Harden assists, but that's not a discount because it's only a 1.1x payout. So you want to avoid on Sleeper these ones that say 1.1x payout. That means minus 1,000 odds. So sure, whatever, you can bet Harden over 4.5 assists, but it's basically just an alternate line. It's kind of like if you look at, whatever. If you look at FanDuel and you go to player assists, like, you can bet on Harden 6+ assists at minus 1,150 or 8+ assists at minus 240. So it's just an alternate line. But 1.1x payout means betting 100 to win 10. So it's ass. Like, that's not good. We don't want to use it. But what we do have is it looks like there's some other discounts on Jabari. I just want to make sure, like, they're actually good odds. So if we look at Jabari, let's go here. So the first two suck. They're just alternate lines on Harden and Embiid. But if you look at the Jabari one that says one-time use, that also doesn't seem good. Over 8.5 rebounds, they have at 2.0x payout, which means plus 100. But you can get plus 103 on other sports books. So that discount also sucks. Now let's see, what about Gray over 5.5Ks? So Gray over 5.5Ks. This one's actually solid because we're getting plus 100 on his over. And if you kind of look at, the market, FanDuel has his over favored, minus 136. BetMGM over favored. Like, it's not like crazy value, but most of the market, most of these sportsbooks have the over favored. And then Lewis Robert hits. So if we go here to player hits, we can take a look at the final Chalkboard discount, which is Lewis Robert hits, which is a 1.51x payout. So some of these discounts, you just got to be careful because some of them are trash, man. Like, some of them are horrible. So Lewis Robert is a 1.51 payout, which means minus 200 odds, basically, which isn't good. Like, you can get minus 225 on sportsbooks, so minus 200. I mean, maybe it's not bad, but it's not, like, good. Thanks, Alex. I probably would have bet the other ones. So regardless, it's just like, why isn't Chalkboard on the optimizer anymore? I think we lost our feed for it and we're trying to get it back, but it'll be back on soon. It should be like a week or something. So long story short, the Gray discount and the Lewis Robert discount, these both seem decent. The other ones are pretty shitty. Yeah, which kind of sucks. So honestly, none of these discounts are particularly compelling, or at least as good as the PrizePicks ones. So again, PrizePicks, we have a 6-pick flex play. We're fading all the Nationals players, and then we got a 5-pick flex play. And what we can do now is let's see what else there is. Let's see what else there is. So we got in a couple of PrizePick slips. Is there anything compelling? Is there anything compelling on these other books? So Esports, and people always say my esport plays suck. It's like, yeah. We got 2 wins yesterday on Esports. Uli, that cashed out 2 underdog slips. So what we can do is we can take a look here at Valorant lines. So you can see here, like, as a sports bettor, we want to see discrepancies. Underdog has this line at 29.5. PrizePicks, the sharper book, has his line higher at 31.5. So it's like, okay, that seems like a solid first play that we can go with. And then, should we ride Murray and Gafford? People like riding Daniel Gafford. So Keegan Murray over 10.5, Keegan Murray over 15.5 points. Man, dude, Trey yesterday was horrible. Over 14.5 points, killed my fucking parlay. We have Keegan Murray over 15.5 points. Again, you could get it on Betr. So, and then we have Gafford, but unfortunately, like on Betr, there's not much other value, it seems like right now, aside from the promo. Basically, it's just this play on Keegan Murray. So let's go back to Underdog, and then we can look at PrizePicks and Fliff and FanDuel as well. I'm not sure if FanDuel has any promos. It doesn't look like they have any boosts right now. But they have like a 30% parlay profit boost. I mean, all this shit is worth taking advantage of. And did they already bump Keegan Murray? Are you serious, man? And they already bumped the Esports play? Okay, so they already bumped the Esports play. Man, I don't even know. Sometimes Underdog's impossible on these streams, so honestly, whatever. I guess Underdog is not going to be our friend today, and we're not going to be able to lock anything in. Because I try to give people time to bet it before I lock in the slip, but it just seems like today that's not going to happen. So let's do FanDuel and Fliff. And let's see what we have here. Ryan Weathers over 4.5 hits allowed. So let's go here. So this game starts in like an hour and a half. Ryan Weathers over 4.5 hits allowed. Do we like this play? So this is in the Marlins game. Let's see what we got here. So again, like what's amazing about sports betting is all these books, they're running around headless, essentially trying to set their own odds. And they're not that good at it. A lot of them aren't. Like out of the thousands of odds on Fliff, they're bound to be screwing up a few lines. So you can see for Ryan Weathers, they have his under favored. His under is the favored outcome, the juiced outcome. You don't have to know anything about baseball to know that Fliff thinks he's more likely to go under because they have his under favored. They have more juice towards the under. All these other sports books, Bet Online, I mean, they've just been ripping this guy towards the over. Sometimes it's lineup driven, weather driven, whatever, but you can see all these books have ripped Weathers to being a huge favorite to go over. Or maybe it's just all the sharps and are betting the over. Like these books move odds based on lineups, injuries, weather, where's action coming in from our profitable customers. Like they're always bumping things around. So this play seems really solid. Every other book has the over pretty heavily favored around like minus 140. We're getting minus 110 on Fliff. I'm hitting that Jokic RAs too. Anyone tail this Fliff play? So Ryan Weathers over 4.5 hits allowed. And I always get shit for my UFC plays when I do them early in the week. But what did I want to say, man? So we have Ryan Weathers over 4.5 hits allowed. Okay, so that's a good start on Fliff. But what I was going to say is, you know, a lot of the good lines, like Fliff ends up bumping. So we got this, I guess, on April 2nd. So 2 days ago on Tuesday, we already made our UFC bet on over 1.5 total rounds. We got that at minus 135. I mean, you can see now, like, every book has this, like, minus 180. So the market has just been ripping towards this over. Usually in the UFC, it's just sportsbooks release odds. A lot of times the early action from, like, a lot of sharper bettors get in their action early, and clearly, like, the sportsbooks open this line, the over, as way too big of an underdog. I mean, Bet Online opened this at plus 185, now it's down to minus 180. So, a complete reversal. I mean, like, you know, the market has just absolutely ripped this over to being a huge favorite. I don't know. Or maybe the fighter said something that makes the market think it's more likely to go over. Who knows? But we got in our first play. So we got Weathers over 4.5 hits allowed. And this is on Fliff at minus 110. And again, all the live stream plays, they're just tracked in the sheet in the description on YouTube. But so we got our first play in on Fliff. Let's see what else there is. Do we like Jokic RAs? Jokic over 21.5 RAs. I mean, that's another option on Fliff. Do people like Jokic tonight? There's also, I mean, I've said this before, there's really good college basketball value on FanDuel. Like, you know, it's kind of similar strategy here. Any book can screw up. I mean, FanDuel they have thousands of lines up. All these books are trying to set their own lines. FanDuel literally has, I mean, thousands of lines up for the NBA per game every single night. Like, they're bound to be screwing up a few to have some soft spots. DoorDash, man. But, anyways, what did I want to say? So let's do Jokic RAs. I like Jokic tonight. So we have Jokic RAs. So what do we want to do, man? So we got Jokic RAs. Kind of slower day of NBA today. We got Nikola Jokic over 21.5 RAs. So, okay, we can go with that. Anyways. So we have Jokic RAs, and then this is... Hey, you can just leave it at the gate.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. Okay, so we got Jokic RAs. And honestly, is there anything else that we're attracted to, or should we call it? I mean, there's some other plays on FanDuel. Ottawa Senators over half of a first period team total. I say it all the time, like, there's so many fucking sports books. It really just depends, you know, what books you have access to. Like, BetMGM is a great book. It's probably the best book in terms of finding value. So did they just put Braden Smith's line back up at 6.5? Sometimes Underdog Fantasy, it seems like they bump around these college lines like crazy. So, Braden Smith. Dude, what the fuck? So if they did put this line back up, then I'm going to want to lock it in. But let's see. So we have college basketball, and we want Braden Smith. No, he's back at 7. Sometimes I swear they're just like they're messing around with us, because it seems like. But ESPN Bet, BetMGM are good books. I just have low betting limits on those books, which kind of sucks, but you know, just kind of how it is. So. Bam, under half of a block. Like, there's tons of good books out there. It's just can only do so many on these streams. But anyways, we got FanDuel, Fliff. Yeah, FanDuel, it's like the best play. Seems like Senators. You know, sometimes it's the more niche markets. Everyone loves money lines and player goals, but sometimes it's the more niche markets where books screw up and have value. So like here, you can see FanDuel has the Senators first period team total at minus 136. The rest of the market has it at like minus 160. So pretty fucking clear value on this play. All the sharper books, you know, opening this around minus 165, minus 170 on DraftKings with the over. So it seems like FanDuel's a little stale, still offering this at minus 136. But anyways, we got a ton of plays on this stream, so I'm going to call it a day for now. 2 PrizePicks plays. Underdog. 2 Fliff. Again, here's the plays on Fliff. I skipped over Chalkboard. Those discounts, honestly, none of them are super compelling, and 3 of them are just bad. And then we got in the Betr discount. So, yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll probably go on live stream later, but